Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for IDW Sonic the Hedgehog issue 37. When we last left our heroes, we reached the grand finale of Chow Races and Bad McBases, as Sonic and Shadow teamed up to try to stop the avalanche. They kind of failed, but everyone got out of the avalanche anyway. Starline was able to nab some of Tails' fur. He seemed to be wanting the entirety of Tails, but he says that the fur is fine enough for whatever his plans are, so I guess he's cloning Tails? That's my guess. Belle is almost 100% confirmed to be created by Tinker at this point, as she's able to read the Omega files that they needed the Cipher to read. That was Sonic and Tails' whole mission in the last arc. What else is there? Shadow and the Dark Chow are friends now. And yeah, it was kind of a nice sort of resolution to the kind of to the small arc we've been in. So yeah, all that said, let's jump right on into issue 37. Our cover here is of Tangle and Belle, who are running together in this kind of concentric circle pattern. And we see, like, imposed behind them, Sonic, Amy, and Tails, all looking kind of worried about something. Don't know what that's going to be about. We have our story so far here, which seems to be largely focused on... At first, it focused on Jewel, and her taking over for Amy in leading the restoration. We see some of Belle and Tails' introductions. The Tails pulling Belle's tail to kick at Starline. Sonic's apology, the end of last issue. And Tails offering to let Belle work in the workshop. So those are all things to keep in mind going into this issue. Our roll call here is for Sonic, Amy, Tails, Jewel, Tangle, and Tinker, and Belle. Belle the Tinkerer, sorry. And Belle. So yeah, smaller cast than normal, but let's jump right on in. As we see, Tails, Sonic, and Belle are kind of walking through this sort of ruins. Belle asks, "And you're sure the restoration will take me?" And Sonic's just kind of super casual. Totally. They're super chill. Everybody there is a volunteer who just wants to help folks that have had it tough recently with all the crazy stuff going on. Most recently, we are reminded rebuilding after the Metal Virus saga from issues 13 to 32. And then Tails turns to Belle, and along with helping those impacted by the Metal Virus, they've been working to find anybody who is still missing, like your creator. Gotcha. So that line... Because last issue, there was that bit where Tails kind of confronts Belle. I'm not, you're clearly created by Eggman. I'm not mad. I just wish you told us the truth. And then she's like, no, but I wasn't created by Eggman, which to me seems to be very clear. And Tails, knowing about Mr. Tinker, should have made it very clear that her creator is Mr. Tinker. And yet here Tails is acting like her creator is another person, who is not somewhere buried deep in the subconscious of Eggman. I don't know. Anyway, Belle's looking around, clearly concerned. Are you sure this is the right place? Sorry, but it looks a little ruined. Sonic responds, sure, I'm sure. This is the spot. And he jumps into a crater. I think, is this Silver's garden from the first annual? And Sonic opens the door of this little tool shed. Care to do the honors, buddy? And Tails walks in on it. And Belle looks around. This is a tool shed. It sure is, if you don't know what to look for. And Tails removes a knife off the wall. And we hear this chunk, and Belle kind of freaks out. Yeek! Sonic tells her, you might want to hold on to something. Welcome to the restoration. This is Tails. Or their back door, at least. Amy told me they decided to preserve this town's ruins as a memorial to what people have already lost. Instead, they're building within what's left over. Okay. So they're keeping one town destroyed as this kind of, like, acknowledging that the war happened. Especially because that seemed to be about Metal Virus initially, but the fact that I'm pretty sure this is Silver's Garden, um, from the 2019 annual, would imply this is more about the Sonic Forces War. I think. I'm assuming. I don't know. Um, hmm. Anyway, instead they're building within what's left over. Besides, who wouldn't want to have a place like this? And Tails kind of kind of shows her into the main base. And we see Belle looks around. It's kind of, open windows, like a big. It kind of reminds me of a train station for some reason. Like the way the clock is set up, the walls. I don't know. Belle looks around. Gears and starters. This place is amazing. And Sonic agrees. Yeah, it's way cooler than their old. It's way cooler than their old place. And then Sonic kind of pauses for a minute. Where do you suppose we could find? And just then we hear Sonic. And there is Amy with Jewel behind her. Hi. Just like clockwork. How does she do that? And then Sonic asks, "Hey, Amy, weren't you done with directory stuff?" "Oh, I'm just here to wrap up a couple little things and make sure Jewel's okay." And Jewel chimes in, which I most certainly am. I'm glad Jewel is okay with what happened to her at the end of the Metal Virus saga. Because I was a little kind of not a fan of how Amy just kind of shoved leading the world on this woman who has never even done anything like this before. And then ran off. But I'm glad that Jewel is really growing into it. Anyway, Tails cuts in. We're here because we were hoping the restoration might be able to help out Belle. She needs a place to stay. Belle kind of waves to them. Nice to meet you. And Jewel gets right up to her. Well, any friend of Sonic's is welcome here. There's always room for more volunteers. Almost felt a burp. It didn't happen. Anyway. Of course, everybody in the restoration pitches in as best they can while they're here. What sort of skills do you have? And Belle kind of looks away. Woodworking, mostly. And Jewel, who apparently cannot tell that the girl that she's talking to is made of wood, just continues on. We don't do a lot of that, but maybe something in the machine shop? And then Jewel calls out, "Excuse me, would you mind taking this new volunteer over to the machine shop?" And then I think she's a sheep. This sheep girl pops up. "Yes, Director. Please, Jewel is fine." "Yes, Director Jewel. Follow me, recruit." And Tails waves her off. "Don't worry, you'll do great." Thanks. And then with I was gonna say just the four of them, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Jewel, but it looks like Belle is still with them. At the bottom of that top left panel, unless it's just another green-capped, orange-haired girl. I don't know. Anyway, Amy, running up the stairs. "Come on, we'll give you the grand tour." And Sonic responds, "You guys have certainly been busy tidying this place up." And Jules kind of chuckles. "Indeed, at first it seemed like we never get through it." We flash back to just all the paperwork Amy and Jewel worked on earlier. But you can do anything if you take it one step at a time. And we see this computer room. Where people are just kind of working. We see a globe on the computer screen with, I'm guessing, just trouble areas. And I guess he reached Jewel's office as she kind of sits on her desk. And here we are. "Here you are," Amy counters. "If I have to look at another equipment requisition form, I'll scream." Just then a girl comes in. "Miss Jewel? Should probably have a look at this." And then meanwhile, we cut to Belle and the sheep. I think she's a sheep. She's wearing a cowbell. Maybe she's a cow. And we see these two other restoration members gossiping. What kind of robot is that? Kind of creepy. What's with her nose? We see Belle is clearly hurt there. She kind of rubs at her nose. And the sheep has led Belle to, here we are, the machine shop. And she walks over to this big gorilla-looking dude. "Sir, I have a new recruit for you, straight from the director. What did I tell you about that official type stuff? You gotta relax, sister." "Yes, sir. Okay, duly noted. And then the director turns to Belle as the sheep walks off. She's her face. We see he is kind of in this like half light, half shadow thing. That's like always suspicious. Like go to suspicious lighting, especially with like that frown her face is in. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with her right now. I'm curious if she's like a spy or something. Anyway, the director looks at, or no, the director there is referring to Jewel. This is just the machine shop guy, not director. Scratch all the references to him as a director. Anyway, that's a far out look. What's your make? Custom built? I'm Belle. Nice to meet you. Groovy. Grab a wrench and give me a hand with this Dumpa sedan here. And we see Belle and the gorilla kind of, working on a car. We see the gorilla welding. Belle's tail gets on fire at one point. She tries to make coffee and fails. And then she thinks to herself, get yourself together, Belle. You were built for this kind of work, so stop worrying about what people think of you. And just then her tail gets caught in a forklift or something. Oh, sawdust! And because her tail is pulled, she then kicks the box she was carrying. It's sent flying, and crashes into a crane holding a boat. And Belle calls, move, everybody out. Oh no, that's someone else like in charge. And Belle just kind of panics. Gotta help, stop. And just then Tangle shows up, who has like wrapped the boat up in her tail. Don't worry guys, I got this. No boats about it. Okay, Tangle. Alright. Love a good corny joke. Also, just love Tangle. Tangle's an icon. But we see she is straining. Little help? This is kinda heavy. Really heavy. Please hurry. And Belle sighs. Whew. But then the gorilla comes back and kind of grabs her. You're a liability to yourself and others, and I can't have those kind of vibes in my shop, so make tracks before I... Okay. He is a lot less nice than I thought he was. And, like, he's not wrong, exactly. Like, the fact that she has a circumstance where she automatically starts kicking things is not great. But still, he's really, really blunt. Anyway, Belle turns back to him. I'm so sorry. I swear I can't. Oh? And just then Tangle comes in and kind of, like, puts her arm around her. Easy, Chief. I'll take it from here. And the gorilla turns away. Fine. Both of you scram. You know you're not allowed in here, Tangle. Not after the ball bearing incident. And Tangle leaves with a joke. You've got no appreciation for physical comedy. And then as they're leaving, Tangle just keeps on joking with Belle. You cause one little industrial accident and you'll never hear the end of it. They should call it the rulestoration, huh? And Belle is just not paying any attention. Oof, this is a disaster. Nah, you're new, right? First days are always tough. Besides, that kick was epic. How'd that even happen? And Belle responds, oh yeah, if my tail gets pulled, I do this kick thing. It's automatic, sorry. She has this, like, helpful diagram of the kicking. And Tangle just grabs her tail, stars in her eyes. Weird tail buddies. And Belle stops her. Please don't pull that. And then we see Tangle kind of wraps Belle's tail up in her tail. I'm Tangle. We can pull the sickest stunts with these babies. Let's be friends. I am down for this partnership already. I'm Belle. Nice to meet you. And then as they're walking, after that little incident, now we just need something exciting to happen. And Belle's confused. Exciting how? And then we hear two more people kind of gossiping in the background. Did you hear about the freak storms all along the coast? No way, it's natural. Is it Dr. Eggman again? Who knows? I'm just glad it's not my job to figure it out. And Tangle, hearing that, clearly has an idea, and Belle is not on board with this idea at all. Oh boy. And Tangle, literally carrying Belle, runs into the director's office. Jewel, we got trouble. There's a... And she runs into Jewel, Sonic, Amy, and Tails, already talking about the storms. Oh. And Sonic winks at her. Yo, Tangle, long time no see. Belle, short time no see. Uh, and then Tangle responds, hey Sonic, so what's... And then Jewel cuts in. Here we go. This was the last picture our scouting drone was able to get before the storm surge took it out. And Tails looks at it. Look at the energy coming off the top. Something that powerful would affect cloud formation in the area, thus causing the storms. And Jewel responds, this is beyond what the restoration's equipped to handle, but we can't leave those villages in danger. Okay, let me see if I can understand what Tails is saying there. So there's some kind of machine that is generating the storms. There's some kind of energy. I think I have that right. Yeah, so this machine here is creating the storms with energy. Okay. And then Sonic responds, no worries. If Eggman's up to something, Tails and I can handle it. And Amy kind of like cracks her knuckles. And me. I'm not missing out on another adventure with you, Sonic. And Tangle cheers. Oh yes, mission time. And Jewel like halts her fun. Hold on, Tangle. And then we see Belle, who's thinking to herself, that tower, he might be there. We see Jewel and Tangle in the background. You're on inventory duty this week. You got donations to catalog. But Jewel, I can't see Tangle doing inventory duty. But if I say I need to go, they'll want to know why. I can't risk it. Everybody in the restoration has to do their part, and Jewel leaves Tangle looking like crestfallen. And Sonic tries to allay her concerns. We'll hit you up next time Eggy summons a god of destruction or digs up some ancient fighting robots. Promise. I love every time they kind of dig into kind of like the like patterns of a Sonic game. You know, Eggman always calls up some cosmic death god, or gets some ancient robots from the dawn of time. You know, it's gonna happen again. We don't know when it will happen, but it will happen again. And Jewel sits down at her desk. Sorry, Tangle, but I have a lot of reports to get through. Could you? Yeah, inventory time. Come on, Belle. And just then, Belle whispers to Tangle, a quick flip of their dynamic, the one that's very much predicated on Belle's ulterior motives. You know what? I think I have an idea. Later, a few miles offshore of Seaside City, and we see Sonic, Tails, and Amy all in the tornado, flying towards the machine. Yup, this is definitely the place. And we see some egg pawns, so no more doubt. Well, it could still be Starline. I'm about to say no more doubts as to who it could be. But like it could still be Starline. And Tails asks, what do you think he's up to this time? Maybe some kind of weather machine? It'd be just like him to try and rain on everyone's parade. And then Sonic jumps off the tornado, starts spin dashing into egg ponds. Come in behind me. I'll clear the way. Roger. And he runs by the egg ponds. They all kind of explode. And Amy, so Tails lands the tornado and immediately jumps off it with Amy. You know who then Amy then says, sorry, the whole line there I said very poorly. Amy then quips, you know, if we're going inside, it's only polite to knock. Sonic and Tails then spin dash the door while Amy hits it with her hammer. And then it looks like they're a little shocked at how easily the door falls over or caves in. Because Amy lets out a whoa as the door kind of like breaks, allowing them into this chamber. We see there's this sort of like green door, or like a portal or something, in the center of this chamber. The heck? And Sonic falls into it, with Amy and Tails very quickly on the way. And then we cut back to Belle and Tangle. I guess we'll hopefully see Sonic again by the end of the issue. but we'll see. Anyway, back at HQ, Tangle asked, "You're sure about this plan? You want to help Sonic, don't you?" "Well, yeah." And then Belle pulls back this tarp, and we see some kind of vehicle, like a scooter, like an air scooter, maybe. I don't know. And Tangle responds, "Oh, now that's a ride. Let's take a look under the hood." And then as they get in, Tangle asks, "You can get it going?" "Oh, you betcha. This should only take a minute." And we see she kind of like is messing with the wiring a little bit. And Tangle sighs, "I joined the restoration when Jewel took over to support her, but now I hardly even see her. But she's working hard to help people, and like she's important now, so I do like the reminder that like Tangle, or more like the reveal that Tangle is here to help Jewel. That's why she's a part of this. I think it's really sweet. I feel like the friendship between Jewel and Tangle is the kind of thing that could very easily be kind of forgotten about, as Tangle is sort of subsumed into the main cast. Um, but by reminding us of that kind of foundational friendship for Tangle, it makes her feel more real. You know, Jewel has been her best friend since for as long as we know. You know, before she met Sonic, before she met Whisper, she and Jewel were like buddy buddy. And so just a reminder of that makes her feel realer, I guess. Anyway, she's important now, so and that reminder of just like how important Jewel is, and how what Jewel says is helping people, kind of makes Tangle sort of sour on the whole idea. Maybe this is a bad idea. We should go back and just then Belle, connect turns the machine on or something, um, they're ready to go. For a second there, I saw the green background and I was like, "Oh, we're doing." They're also warping now, but I think I'm wrong. I'm trying to figure out the ordering of these panels here. I think the sort of green dome turns on first, and then it starts to lift off with Belle barely on. And Tangle's just, "Whoa, ho, ho, I guess we're doing this." And Belle climbs on, "Let's go." And the two of them are like, they lift off. The gorilla notes them. "What in the Tangle?" And then Tangle tells Belle, "Fair warning, I've never driven one of these things before. Too late to worry about that now." Meanwhile, back with Sonic and the gang, they've all teleported somewhere else. They came in a green door, out a red door. And they all sort of hit the ground. And Amy looks back. "What the heck kind of door was that?" And Tails responds, "Whatever this is, it's broken beyond repair. I guess we overloaded it when we fell through. I wouldn't even know where to start to fix it." And Amy looks at him. "I sure hope it didn't set off a special alarm or something." And Sonic calls back, "We can worry about that later. At least it got us inside. Let's go see if we can find some answers." Um, and so they set off, and Sonic runs down the corridor, runs into an egg pond. "Ooh, dibs!" And he immediately spin dashes into it. It goes flying. And Sonic looks around. "Gotta be getting close now. Where there's bots, there's something worth finding." "Yeah." And then Tails picks up a piece of chalk. Strange. What do you think it was doing with chalk? Oh yeah, we see the egg pawn in that first panel was kind of dragging the chalk along the wall as it walked. That is interesting. And Amy just kind of pushes them along. "We'll figure it out. Nothing's impossible when we're working together." And we see I love this kind of like the contrast between these two panels. They're all sort of like happy, confident. Tails is a little like peeved at his observation being walked over. And then 10 minutes later, Sonic and Amy are tired. Tails is just focused on that fucking chalk. Sonic, "It's impossible. This place never ends." And then we see Tails draws an arrow in the chalk and says, "Hold on, you guys, I want to test something out." "Oh? Follow me." "My hypothesis is correct, then." And we see he's drawing more arrows in the chalk. When we turn this corner... "Oh, okay, see, they're going in circles." "Yes, the mark I made is gone." And Sonic asks, "But we just went in a circle. How?" "Somehow, this place is changing around us as we move through it." "Okay, this is interesting. Um, I'm curious. I think this is going to be Starline. I feel like all of these arcs, from Chow Racing the Badnik bases into Test Run, I feel like it's all setting up Starline. So I feel like this is not going to be Eggman. I don't know. Hold on. What observation led me to that conclusion? I lost a train of thought there for a second. I think part of it is that, like, Eggman, as has been noted back in the first arc, is very kind of he makes announcements when it comes to his evil plans. And so here, the kind of subtlety is more of a Starline trait. Well, relative subtlety, let's say. Um, hmm. I don't know. I'm still kind of. I feel like my thought process was that had something to do with the going in circles thing. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Amy looks around. What are we gonna do about it? And Tails' response is, "Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought that far ahead." And Sonic responds, "My turn for a little experiment. Hang on tight." And the three of them all start running. "If this place wants to shift around on us, let's see if it can keep up with me." And we see they're running. The colors are changing. They're starting the blue platform. We see green, yellow, orange, pink, purple. "I think it's working. Keep going." "Whoa, no way." "Hold on. Oh, wait. This is like mirrors, I think." Because we see the same expressions on Sonic, Tails, and Amy in 3 places. So I think this is all happening at the same time. They're seeing themselves. "Where to now? I'm not even sure which way is up." Amy calls, "Faster." Whoa. This is Sonic. Now they seem to be facing each other. Thanks to the reflections, I'm guessing. "Are you sure?" "Nope. But something's telling me that if we can outpace this maze, then we can break it too." And she throws her hammer at the wall, and all of them they seem to like fall through the sort of like dimensional effect. We see each of them in slightly different shades as the issue ends. Next time, a backstage pass. Okay, that was a weird issue. And then we see our next time issue cover involves the 3 of them still falling. We see all these door-like things. Tangle and Belle pop up in one, as do Orbot and Cubot, which implies this might be more Eggman than Starline. Okay, so there's a lot in this issue. It's largely, for its first part, kind of a return to the Restoration. A little bit of seeing how they are in post-Metal Virus era. Like the status quo post-Metal Virus, given that they didn't really play a role in the last arc. Seeing Jewel as a leader, which I do really like I said, Jewel and how she impacts Tangle work really well this issue. And then we have our actual plot, which is a mix of Tangle wanting to just have an adventure, and I do like, though, like, well, that's initially sort of a childish thing for Tangle. She kind of realizes, wait a second, I'm kind of being childish right now. Maybe I should stay. And before she really can back out, everything kind of happens. Belle gets the machine working, and they take off. But anyway, once again, I've lost where I was with that train of thought. I've been really fucking tired the past, week. I'm just drained completely. hold on, let me try to grab my train of thought. Um, I don't know. I like the bond between. I like that we're keeping the focus on Jewel and Tangle. That we're allowing their friendship to still exist, even as they're kind of, you know, now like Tangle isn't as able to easily interrupt Jewel as she would have been in the past. Is what I'm getting at. And yet their friendship still exists. It still is present. It still is a factor in Tangle's decision making. I also like that Belle is very clearly motivated by a selfish purpose here. She wants to find her father, find who's almost certainly Tinker, and I imagine she will, actually. Honestly, I should have realized that the station was created by Eggman and not Starline as soon as Tinker kind of got involved with the looking for her father thing. Given that her father is Eggman, even if she's not quite aware of it, and her having to realize that is definitely going to be the defining moment of her character. But then yeah, we see the Sonic, Tails, and Amy bit as they get through the maze is really kind of confusing. And it's an intentional confusion, so I'm not like too hard on it. But like I'm not quite sure when we see my impression when we see them going down through the rainbow passageways is that that's all happening at the same time. But I'm not entirely sure that I'm right, so I don't really know. I don't know. But Test Run is getting to an interesting start. It's very clearly not the mystery arc that Chow Races and Badnik Bases was at first. But it's a bit more of a traditional sort of action adventure arc is the vibe I'm getting from it. But yeah, with Belle and Tangle on the way to kind of spice things up and lead some drama to Belle learning who Tinker is. There's still plenty of fun on the way. There's still, of course, the question of what exactly Eggman is doing here, what his goal is this time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where we go from here. I think we're still very clearly, obviously, in the early stages of this arc. But yeah, that's kind of all I've got for this issue. Hope you all enjoyed the issue and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!